Hey, what is going on everybody? In this video I'm going to share with you 3 things you need to check before your hair transplant, which will prevent you from regretting your hair transplant after that. So if you're somebody who would like to get a natural hair transplant result suitable to your age and current hair loss situation, which will also last you a long time, then the only thing you need to do is to watch this video until this very end and then properly execute upon all the steps or things that need to be checked. This video is brought to you by GoFiber Hair Building Fibers. Pick up your free sample and get instant hair confidence. Start your transformation today. Hey, welcome back. My name is Matt and you are watching my hair loss and hair transplant related channel. So if you are new to these topics of hair transplant, this is something I recommend to you to simply download my free ebook 5 things I wished I had known before my hair transplant, which is like a guide which will help you start with your hair transplant research the right way. So this is the right place to start. So the number one thing you want to check or find out before your hair transplant is your hair per graft average. Okay, now what is hair per graft average, how it can be checked or estimated, and why is this important? Coming up. Now, hair per graft average simply means how many hairs there are contained in each follicular unit of your donor area on average. The higher it is, the better density can be expected after the hair transplant. How can be hair per graft average estimated as precisely as possible? We have trichoscan, we have specific donor area mapping machines or robots some clinics already use, and we have the old school loop which doctors still use nowadays to check the donor area, the quality of the donor, how many single, double, and triples there are, and give you an estimation. Why is this important, guys? As an example, let's take a look at 2 gentlemen here. The gentleman number 1 with a hair per graft average 2.4 and the gentleman number 2 with a hair per graft average of 1.5. Let's say they both need around 5,000 hairs implanted. The gentleman number 1 will only need around 2,100 grafts to be extracted from his donor for the result of 5,000 hairs implanted, while the other gentleman will need around 3,300 grafts to be extracted from his donor to come onto around 5,000 hairs implanted in total. He has a lot of single grafts and also double grafts, which are kind of pushing the hair per graft average much lower, while by the gentleman number 1 you can see that he has so many doubles and triples and not so many singles, which is again pushing the hair per graft average much higher. And here is the mistake I see guys doing during their hair transplant research. They basically get a quote from a doctor like they need 3,000 grafts, let's say, and without knowing their hair per graft average, they just assume it's somewhere around 2, maybe even more. Depends, some doctors even tell you 2 to 3, which makes you think like you will get so many hairs, but you don't get it properly estimated or evaluated, so you don't know. Then these guys go online and they kind of take a look at these 3,000 graft transformations from other guys, and this is now their expectation. Later they will get their hair transplant and they will realize that the 3,000 grafts they got is not as dense as the 3,000 grafts some other guys got. Alright guys, so at the end it's not the number of grafts implanted, but it's the hair per graft average which makes the difference in terms of overall density. Okay, second thing you want to check before your hair transplant, it's very important, and it's simply, are you a good hair transplant candidate? And if you are you more suitable for the FUE, follicular unit extraction, or FUT, the strip surgery, or a combination of both? So how do you even know that you are a good hair transplant candidate? Easiest thing would be to contact like 3 to 4 reliable hair transplant doctors. Ideally, you visit at least one of them in person, basically hear what all of them have to say onto your situation, and this will kind of help you get a better impression or better overview of what your hair situation is actually like, what's possible and what's not possible. Let's say you have already contacted like 3 to 4 reputable hair transplant doctors. They told you you are a suitable candidate for a hair transplant. Based on your age, based on your hair loss progression, based on whether you are on medication or not, based on things like you have already hair transplant done or not, this will also influence things like whether you should do FUE or FUT or combination of both. For all you guys watching this video who have already talked to me one-on-one in person, you know that this is something I really like to do when I'm assisting guys with their hair transplant research. I basically have them contact 3 to 4 reliable hair doctors, also FUT, FUE doctors, just to give them a better perspective on the whole hair restoration, what's possible with FUE, what's possible with the FUT. Now, if you want me to assist you with your hair transplant research, then make sure you apply for a consultation on the link in the video description below, which says find reliable hair transplant doctors with Matt. Thing number 3 you need to check before you get a hair transplant is to ask yourself or find out the answer to, is my hair loss stabilized or is it stable? And trust me guys, I had to learn it the hard way. I got a hair transplant when I was 25. Prior to my hair transplant, I was not on medication, so I was not stable hair loss case. But despite of that, I was stubborn and I got my first hair transplant. After my first hair transplant, I didn't get on medication immediately, but I waited about one and a half year. Now I'm on medication, but I wished I had started with medication already prior to my first hair transplant, okay? That's why I recommend you, before you even get a hair transplant, you visit a dermatologist in your area or a hair loss or hair transplant doctor who will evaluate your hair loss situation. What dermatologists like to do, they like to use trichoscan, which will basically evaluate the total density of your hair on the scalp, density of the terminal hair. They will kind of assess your hair loss year by year and see how it progresses. Based on that, they will suggest you some type of medication, minoxidil, finasteride, PRP, some type of stem cell rejuvenation treatment, low-level laser therapy. Most frequent scenario which is happening is that the physician will recommend you minoxidil or Rogaine, or he will prescribe it to you finasteride oral 1 milligram. The sooner you do this, the better for your hair, guys, okay? Before you decide to get a hair transplant, seriously think about the hair loss preventative treatments, which would be the ones that you are comfortable with. I'm not pushing any of them, no finasteride, minoxidil, it's really up to you. I'm just giving you an overview what's possible, what you should be seriously thinking about before you even decide to get a hair transplant. So, all right guys, that was it. Thank you so much for watching, appreciate it. And for all you new guys who are new to this topic of hair transplants, you may be considering hair transplant, you don't even know if it's something good for you or not. Are you eligible? Are you a good candidate or not? And you need somebody who's gonna guide you through this hair transplant research phase and assist you there, connect you with good doctors, then make sure you apply for a consultation with me, where I'm gonna be helping you find a reliable hair transplant doctor who will not overharvest your donor, create naturally looking hairline and suitable to your age and your whole hair situation, okay? So this is a link in the description below which says 1-to-1 consultation with Matt, okay? So make sure you do it. Other than that, thank you so much for watching and we'll see you in the next video.